Right? That was the biggest thing for me. Is like, I didn't even know how to receive a compliment. Right?
And we're not going to fix us because we're not broken, but we're going to work through our stuff so we can elevate.
What if I die tomorrow?
Okay.
What's going to happen to my brand? What's going to happen to my business? What's going to happen to my food trucks? What's going to happen to my websites? What's going to happen to everything that I created, right? Mm-hmm. What's going to happen to it if I die tomorrow? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like that answer, fix it.
I'm about to look y'all in the face.
Like, I'm that guy, right? I'm the man. Like, no, I figured this out. I got it, right? You start, it's a barrier there, right?
Yes.
But then you had to get to a point where it's like, bro, I don't know. Right?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Accountability On Demand podcast. It's your host, LaShawna West, and I'm so excited for my next guest. And instead of me introducing him, I need you to introduce yourself for the people.
What's up, man? Hey, look, this is Keon Davis. I'm the owner operator of Smooth and Groove, better known as the Smoothie Guy, but now known as Mr. Davis to you. All right, what's up?
Period, Pooh. So listen, Keon, thank you so much for being here. You were on our last edition, the Bay podcast, Balance Above Everything, and we did the Entrepreneur on the Rise segment. And now I feel like it's all about elevation and talking about where we've been and where we're going. So let us know, like, what is on the horizon for you? Because I heard you say the Smoothie Guy, now known as, like, what's going on? Let's dig deep into that elevation.
So that's a great question, and I'm glad that you asked that. I think it's important that we don't necessarily put ourselves in a box, right? And I think for the longest time, I realized and I thought that everything that I did, I had to be known for one thing, right? I had to be known for this one specific thing. So I had to brand myself as this one thing. But as I, quote unquote, elevated, right, and understand more from a different perspective, I understand that I don't want to represent my brand. Okay. I want my brand to represent itself, right? So therefore, now as I remove myself from the Smoothie Guy, right, I let my Smooth and Groove brand stand on its own. So whether you rock with me or not,
I don't know if y'all caught that.
Whether you rock with me or not, you know, I provide a great product.
Yep.
I provide a great service. You know what I'm saying? So instead of it being like, oh, I'm supporting my guy, it's like, oh, I got to go over there because they make the bomb smoothies or they food off the chain or, you know, whatever the reason is that you come by.
It's the best, period. No matter who's behind it. And I love that you're sharing that because I think many times we get lost in our brand and that's our identity. I'm literally working through that right now. So tell me, what made you pivot or make that shift?
A lot of it came from a lot of losses. A lot of it came from just this whole past year that I've been in. You know what I mean? Like I went through a divorce. I went through, you know, a space where I found myself. You know, I found a new relationship. I found a new identity for myself. Yep. So, you know, a lot of times a lot of people always say, like, you can re-identify yourself, right?
Yep.
And when I looked at it from a standpoint of like, you know what? You can't re-identify yourself. You are who you are, right?
Okay.
But then as I went through this process, I understand that it's not really you re-identifying yourself. It's you actually pulling out who you really are.
Whoo, you know hold up, because I know you can go. So I want to sit and simmer in that right now, right? And it's funny because I just did a session with Giovanni. He used the word realign, right? And so I think many times we just breeze past this point. And I think this is the catalyst that spearheads the new version of us. Not the better version, but the elevated version, the newer version. How does that feel?
It's hard. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really hard. It's challenging. Yeah. It's stressful, you know, and everybody talk about, and I remember I used to hear this all the time. You know, you hear that song, Future, right? It's levels. It's levels to this, right?
Right.
And people use that junk without understanding what that actually means, right? And so for me, when I got into a new relationship, I understood that honesty was a big thing. Communication was a big thing. Trust was a big thing. Like all of those factors, right? Mm-hmm. But I didn't understand that there's levels to all of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I may think that I'm at the top of a certain level, but then when I get into a relationship with someone else or I'm involved with someone else, their expectation or the level that they're at is completely different.
Right.
So the fact that I feel like I'm performing at a high level, that's another level to go to, right?
Most definitely.
So like J. Cole always say, like your old highs turn into your new lows.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like each stage you go to, and we talk about that, like we said, that 10,000 hour rule. Mm-hmm. Like everybody talk about the 10,000 hour rule where it takes 10,000 hours to master or, be able to master a certain thing, right? But it takes 10,000 hours each level you go to.
Ooh, that's
right?
good. Yes.
So people don't talk about that level up. So like you can get 10,000 hours at the bottom level and feel like you're good.
Right.
Right? But that's not who we are. That's not, where we're trying to get to.
That's not at our optimal level, our very, very best. I call it milestones, right? And at the end of the day, what I'm hearing is growth. Mm-hmm. You're growing as a dad, as a mate, as a business owner, as a CEO, as Keon.
As a human.
As a human, exactly. But many times we try to put everything in one bucket. Human, father, Keon, business owner, and there's levels to who we are.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So I want to ask you a question because I know right now on the horizon, everybody's talking about self-care and mental health and self-love. And I love it, but I'm wondering, do people really understand what we truly need to work through our trauma? Or is it a trend that is catchy and cute? Mm-hmm. I'm looking right in the camera. You feel me?
Straight up.
Like, what are your thoughts on that?
So I don't think people are really taking that as serious as they think they are, right? Because I know for me what self-care look like, and I know what people post about self-care.
Right.
So I know for me, I couldn't post my self-care.
Why not?
Because I didn't have my phone in my hand, right?
Ooh, 2 hands up top. You know wait a minute. I'm going to pause because Keon, this blank will go.
Yeah.
We got to sit in this and massage this thing. Oh, my bad. I forgot where I was. He said, hold up, y'all. I'm not being dramatic. I'm not. But it's hitting me to my heart because he said, there's no way that I can post that because I'm in it deep and down. What do you mean by that?
So for me, what my self-care looked like, when I first went through my divorce and I got my own space and I was in my own, it took a while for me not to be around my girls, to see them every day, right? So I had to grow through that phase. It was a point in time, and people probably remember this junk, like I was working out at midnight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, I didn't know what to do. Like I never was a TV watcher. So I would come home from working and I wouldn't have my girls. I had to recreate a new routine. And so it got to a point where I used to sit at home in the darkness, right? And just think, right? I would sit at home and I would just reflect. I would sit at home and it went through phases where I would beat myself up, right? Where I had to learn how to give myself grace. Where I had to learn how to be proud of myself. I had to learn how to look at myself as like a strong black man. And one of the things, and I remember this junk verbatim, one of the things that helped me was that guy that I think he was in nursing school or something. And he went and he was hugging his wife. And he was like, I'm proud of you, black man. I'm proud of you, black man. And I mean, like, you can see the intensity of everything that he was feeling, of how hard he worked and what he was doing. And when he said that junk, it hit me, right? I was like, dog, I'm proud of you, right? I look myself in the mirror every morning. I wrote that on my mirror in my bathroom. I'm proud of you, black man, right? Because I think what happens is we look at all the things that we didn't do, don't have, don't accomplish, miss, lost, all these different things, but we don't necessarily look at the progress.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? We don't look at the progress. We don't look at the positive side of the things that you're actually doing. You look at what you lost.
And we don't give ourselves grace. And the P word stands out for me. Not the P y'all thinking about. Okay? The power, oh my God. Proud. There's some people laughing, so my joke was good. This is the thing. I went to an event and the speaker on stage did an activity and she said, I want you to whisper in your partner's ear something that you have always wanted someone to say to you, but you've never heard them say. Okay?
That's big.
I'm gonna let that simmer in y'all soul. Because sometimes we be listening and we multitasking. I'm gonna say it again. What's the thing that you've never heard someone say that you always wanted someone to say? And my answer was this: I am so proud of you. Mm-hmm. Y'all, we work so hard. We go in, we grind, we're resilient, we climb, and we just want to be seen, felt, and heard, and for someone to acknowledge the shit that we're doing.
Right.
I am proud of you.
Right. Right.
And it's so funny. I find myself saying that to my clients. Mm-hmm. Hey, sis, I just want to let you know I'm so proud of you. And it's not because I think it's trendy. I know this is what we need to hear so we can keep going. So when you said you look yourself in the mirror every single day and you say that, we need that. Mm-hmm. But we also need others to say that to us and mean it. So when we're thinking of people and we're like, dang, I appreciate what LaShawna doing. She cool. And then we go about our life. Let that person know how they impact you. You might not need to use the P word. You might not need to say, I'm proud of you. But thank you, Samara, for supporting me. Thank you, Patrick, for always showing up. Thank you, Jovan, for being in the building. Thank you, Keon, for being here today. Thank you, LaShawna, for saying yes to your gifts. Just give people their flowers because we never know if we're going to have a chance to give them to them or not. Mm-hmm. Right?
The other thing too is that we got to learn how to receive that as well, right? That was the biggest thing for me. It's like, I didn't even know how to receive a compliment, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't know how to receive love. I didn't know how to receive all that stuff because I was so stern and I was so ready to I didn't know how to receive it. I didn't feel like I was good enough because my goals, this is the thing, my goals where I see myself at supersedes anywhere where I'm at now. So any accomplishment that I make, anything that I do, anything that comes about, it's almost like, oh, I appreciate it, but I expected that, right?
No big deal because that should have already been happening. That should already happen, right? And you just breeze over it.
Right.
So here's the deal. When you say my goals, do you struggle with perfectionism at all?
Not perfectionism, but I definitely don't struggle with perfectionism. I struggle with self-expectation, right?
Is it high?
Definitely high.
That's a level of perfectionism. Let's just call a different word.
Okay.
High expectations.
Okay.
Because this is the thing. When we aspire or we want it up here, so when this happens, like, yeah, it's cool, but I should have been there, you're not giving yourself grace.
Right.
I struggle with it too, right? And that stems from childhood. Mm-hmm. That did not create when we just became 30, 40-year-olds.
Put that therapist hat on.
Okay.
Go ahead. Let me sit there. Let me get it in the chair. Let me get the therapist hat.
Nah, you know I love you. You know I love you. All of this junk in our trunk, and I'm not talking about your booty, it stems from childhood. Yeah. From the dysfunctional relationship to not setting boundaries to not feeling good enough to comparison. It stems from childhood. However, now we are adults, big boys, big girls, and we get to deal, feel, and heal. Mm-hmm. So as you're talking about, elevating, where does your healing work come into play? Are you working on that?
Oh, definitely. I think that the biggest thing is recognizing, right? So recognizing, one of the things that I did was I started to recognize stuff. I started to reflect on everything, and I started to redirect my energy, right? So for me, what that means is I got to find out what's wrong with me, right? It has nothing to do with nobody else. It has nothing to do with anything that anybody feels about me, right? I gotta deal with me, right? And understanding that as soon as I deal with me, everything that I ever desired in my life will happen, right? Everything that I ever wanted in my life will happen as soon as I fix me. So go back to what we was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that I realized was that I had character flaws.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so...
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I heard you... There's two things I heard you say, and I wanted to ignore it, but I can't. You said, I wanted to figure out what was wrong with me. I wanted to fix me. I wanted to figure out my part in the situation that I played, because nothing's wrong with you.
Right.
But we all play a part.
Okay.
And we're not going to fix us because we're not broken, but we're going to work through our stuff so we can elevate
and get better,
right? And it's just a reframing of words because we're like, I need to fix me.
And I'm wrong with you.
Nothing's wrong with you. I don't care what you've done. Nothing is wrong with you. Are there things for us to learn? Yup. Mm-hmm. Yup. Glorilla. Okay, I'll stop. Glorilla. Y'all, here's the deal. So the only reason why I'm doing that, Keon, is I care about you.
No, most definitely.
And repetition is key. And what we say, we think, we do, what we do is our destiny. And nothing is wrong with you. You don't got to fix anything. Do we need to work on some things? Oh, most definitely. I was just told that I was arrogant. Am I? I don't know. But there's something from that I can look at from this feedback. I feel like feedback is your friend, right? So now I'm working through that. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be outgoing and as vocal as I am, but maybe it's my presentation at times that made this person feel that way. That's a sidebar. Oh. All right. And I appreciate you because by you being open, it lets me know that you're open to grow.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think that's one thing my lady said too, was like, she recognized that I just want to grow. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think that when you start to get into that space, because as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as all like this whole this thing, right?
It's like,
right. You know what I'm saying? As we get into this whole space of like, I'm that guy, right? I'm the man. Like, no, I figured this out. I got it, right? You start. It's a barrier there, right?
Yes.
But then you had to get to a point where it's like, bro, I don't know, right? And so that's where I'm at this year. Is one, I don't know everything, and two, I'm asking for help.
Oh, that's one of my key things.
I'm asking for help. There's no reason why I'm in rooms or I have contacts with people and I have people that are around me that are doing all these different things that I shouldn't be like, hey, let me tap in.
Yep.
Right? Opposed to, and what I realized the other day, I realized this the other day.
Okay.
A part of that was ego.
I was just going to ask you, where do you think that comes from? And he just said ego.
Ego. Okay. Right? So a part of that is ego, thinking in your head that
they need to come to me.
Not just that, they need to come to me, but also from a standpoint of like, you know what? They gonna do their thing, I'm gonna do my thing. Right? Okay. They do their thing, I'm gonna do my thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't need them to do my thing, right?
I can still level up no matter what.
I can still do my thing without them.
I don't need them.
Right. I don't need them to do what I need to do, right? But at the same time, there's strength in numbers. Regardless of if somebody does the same thing you do or don't do the same thing you do, if you connect with that person, there's something that you can learn from everybody, right? It's something that you can take from everybody and implement it in what you're doing, and you're going to be 10 times better regardless of who that person is.
And do it 10 times faster.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
It's so much. Everybody looks at certain people and certain things and say, ooh, I can do it better. I could have did it like this. They should have did this. They should have did that, right? Yep. Opposed to being like, hey, how did you do that?
Let's come together.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What steps did it take for you to get that done?
Yeah.
Where did you go? How was it that you was able to be so consistent?
So what I'm hearing is you being a student instead of a teacher. We got to continue to learn, ask questions, and be curious instead of, I see them doing it, I can do it better. Right. Instead of competition, collaborating.
Right. And not even just that, because like, I remember it was like a couple years ago. I'll never forget this job. It was Black Friday, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody, hey, I want to make $100,000 Black Friday. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I want to make $100,000 Black Friday. And I still remember this job. And so I was looking at all these cats that was online that was doing these $100,000. They were doing all this promo.
So you think.
Right.
Come on now.
Right. Everybody ain't that sweet. So.
Hold up, Keon, because you know I always give this example. Hey, we ain't going to say the N-word. But me and Keon, we be like, them blanks ain't that sweet.
Folks ain't that sweet.
We be thinking, never mind. Let me stop, because I'm about to get petty. I'm about to get petty like Freddie and Farina. Okay? All right. Okay. Keep going.
All right. Because we going to go there.
We about to get petty. This going to be on World Star Hip Hop. Okay? World Star.
The thing was, I'm looking at everybody around me.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, bro, I'm going to do the same thing. But I didn't even understand the people that they had behind them.
Woo,
right? I didn't understand the team that they had of people behind them. So essentially, I'm trying to do a job or a task that took 50 people by myself.
You're not comparing apples to apples.
No.
You like doing this.
All I see is results. So I'm comparing result to result.
Yep.
Right? So not apples to apples, not workload to workload, not people to people. I'm comparing result to result.
Can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
Not intellect to intellect either.
Not at all.
Okay?
Not at all.
Let me tell you what I mean by that. Sometimes we think when people making all this money that they're just so smart, so brilliant. And that's why I like talking to the silent killers, the people out here literally making impact and nobody knows, because you're just as good as the Grant Cardones, the Oprah Winfreys, the J. Cole's, Jay-Z's, Beyonce's. You're just as good or better. So stop comparing yourself and just stay in your lane.
Yep. No, it's very, very important. So when all that stuff occurred, I ended up losing a bunch of bread doing that junk. But I had to realize, like, dog, there's nobody in your lane, right?
Listen.
There's nobody in your lane. There's nobody that I'm looking at that physically do what I do, right? So instead of me trying to get in that space where there's 1,000 people in that lane, where everybody's trying to do the same thing, where everybody's trying to take this and do that and resell that and upload that and do all that stuff, like, bro, I have a physical product where I'm helping people, where I'm getting people a better lifestyle, where I'm doing something that I've been doing for years, right? That all I need to do is tap into what I do, right? Stop looking to my right or to my left. So they go back to the Michael Phelps situation, right? When you swimming, the reason Michael Phelps was winning, he was swimming looking at his goal, right? The dude next to him was looking at him to see what he was doing. And so you
am I swimming or I'm running?
Put you in the water, you swimming, right? But you cannot look to your right or to your left. You got to stay in your lane. Right. And when it's time to come up for some air, you can kind of look up like, oh, shoot. Okay, cool. I see where I'm at. But until then, you just put your head down and run in your lane, just like on the track. Yeah. Right? Everybody got their own lane to run in. If you look at the track and you're looking at the whole track and you see these people in front of you and you think like, oh, let me get in their lane because they in front of me. When you come around to the straightaway, you're going to be behind them. Woo! Right? Yes. So it's just really just getting the opportunity to assess yourself, like, really understand what you want, who you are, and what you want out of this world, right? Yeah. Because life gonna give you what you want.
Life is gonna always life.
You know what I'm saying? Life gonna life you like a mug.
Yeah.
And it don't care nothing about you.
No. What you mean by that?
Life don't care nothing about you. Like,
nobody's coming to save you?
Listen, I got a quote that I've always said. The play don't care who make it.
Yeah, that is your quote.
The play don't care who make it. So what that means is, basically what you said, life gonna life.
Yes.
Right? Life gonna give you everything you need. Life gonna give you everything you want, but you have to do your part. If you don't do your part, nobody cares about you. Like you just said, nobody's coming to save you.
Nobody's coming to save you. And guys, I just want to break this down. What does do your part mean? Do your part means focusing on you until the focus is on you. And it's not always about business or money. Right. Guess what it's about, y'all? Inner work. Yeah. Why is it I feel uncomfortable every time I go to a networking meeting? What is that? It has nothing to do with the environment or the people. It has to do with some stuff that's deep inside of you that you've been struggling with. Lack of confidence, less than, imposter syndrome. Maybe you're introverted. Maybe there's some social anxiety, whatever it is. And so once you tap into that and you figure out what is functioning inside of you, then you can do the inner work. But a lot of times we operate on the surface thing. Oh, they ain't really rocking with me. Nobody came up to me. Well, probably because you was in a corner and not really giving no eye contact, right? Let's take self-accountability. You are listening to the Accountability on Demand podcast with host LaShauna West, your business therapist and mindset coach, to entrepreneurs and CEOs who are ready to level up in life and in business. Shifting your mindset is mandatory. It's time to get out of your own way. So let's plug in and let's learn and earn. But I want to back up a little bit because what I thought about was a blue sea where everybody doing the same thing and a red sea, meaning no one's in your lane. You're literally the obvious choice we have to go back to the Red Sea and dig deep into our own peculiar quirks that we're trying to shame ourselves about and shy against, which literally makes us who we are, makes us super, super duper special. Mm-hmm. So what is the thing about you, not Smooth and Groove, not the smoothie brand, but Keon, that makes you the obvious choice to support people in your area of expertise?
I think for me, and just outside, even my expertise, just me as a person, one of the things about me is I won't quit.
Okay.
Right? And so that means that for me, I'm not going to quit on myself.
Yeah.
It takes a lot for me to feel like I can do something, try to do something, and not do something. Right?
I don't think you ever... There's never... I almost say you don't give up.
No, I don't give up. And no matter how many... Because this is what I feel, right? I feel like even with Smooth and Groove or anything that I've ever done, that was not something that I created. It was something that was given to me, right? That was a gift from God, from the universe, whatever you believe in, right? So for me, I feel like I was chosen to drive this vehicle. You know what I'm saying? So I drive this vehicle as far as I can drive this vehicle, right? Until I can't drive it anymore, right? And so I read this book called What Got You Here Won't Get You There.
Who's that?
You know what I'm saying? I don't remember the author. I'll get it to you.
We'll put it in the description, guys.
Yeah, we'll probably put a picture of it up.
Yeah, for sure.
What got you here won't get you there.
Yeah. I'm just playing. My editor like, sis, I'm not putting no goddamn. What? Go ahead. Look.
So, yeah,
my
we'll
bad.
Put it right here. Right here. Let's do it together. Do it right here. Yep.
It's going to be empty. Maybe not. Okay, my bad.
So, what got you here won't get you there. So, for me, what that means is that I've acquired a bunch of skills, right? My experiences through life made me think a certain type of way for me to operate in a certain type of way, right? I can only do so much and it will take me so far.
Yes.
Then you have to rely on other skill sets, other people, other resources, other information, other knowledge to take you from where you are currently or what you can do by yourself to moving past that and where you should be able to go, right? So when I told you earlier that one of the things that I'm doing this year is I'm asking for help, right?
Yep.
I'm asking for help. I've taken everything that I could do as far as I can take it by myself.
You've exhausted all resources.
Listen, I've done everything, right?
Yep.
Now it's time for me to say, you know what? This is my duty to ask for help.
So pause. Okay. Why is it that we have to come up here into borderline crisis to ask for help, get support when literally we already know? Because we know everything that we need. We know when we be sending emails, doing graphics, typing out the text that we need to ask for help. What do you think is that thing that's saying, nah, you good, you don't need that? What is that?
Ego.
E-G-O.
Ego is really, I mean, when you think about it, ego is everything that we embody especially as an athlete, right? So I grew up my whole entire life as an athlete. So my thing is competitiveness. So it's me versus you, right? Every play is me versus you. It's me versus you. I don't need nothing else. I don't need nobody else to help me versus you, right? But when we get into business, when we get into different spaces, one, we bring that same competitive drive, which is good, right? Which is going to bring you to a certain point. But then it comes, hey, I need a coach, right? I need an offensive line, right? I need a quarterback, or I need a running back, or I need a receiver, or there's certain plays.
I need a water boy.
Right, you know what I mean? Like, I need a trainer.
Yeah.
I need everybody that's going to help me to take this whole thing and move it forward. So I'm going to use Deion Sanders as an example. Okay. Most people look at Deion and they like, oh, Deion. Yeah, Deion is amazing, right? But Deion put the right people around him. You know what I'm saying? So in order to be successful in no matter what it is that you do, you approach it from a team aspect, right? We can go so far individually, but as a team, we can move further. A whole mountain, right?
Further, farther, faster. I think further and farther is the same thing. But farther. Yeah.
They ain't catching.
So, so was there any vulnerability or transparency? And it's not even that. Was there any vulnerability where you literally had to be bucket naked and say, you know what? I'm about to let it all hang out because I know I need this. And if I don't do this, I'm going to continue to struggle. Was there a moment where you had that aha moment where you I'm not going to say you was like in the dumps or in a dark area, but what was a catalyst that shifted your mindset whether it's ego block, money mindset block, whatever, that made you say, this is the season of I'm asking for help?
I think that to be completely and utter honestly, for when I did the work on myself, I started to remove my ego, right? But it was when I got with my lady, right, that really showed me partnership. You know what I'm saying? From a different level. So like, as an alpha male, whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's always like, you know what I'm saying? And
I'm the man!
You know what I mean? And so when somebody tests who you are, and somebody try, you feel automatically you want to revert back, right? You automatically want to respond, right? Okay. Well, what I learned was that when my lady does that, it comes out of love, right?
When she does what? When you say that?
When she questions something that I'm saying. When she tells me that I'm not upholding my end of the bargain. When she tells me, you know what I'm saying? When she has a rebuttal or response to me as a person or what I'm actually doing.
Yeah. So,
you know what I'm saying?
Pause. Effective communication that is non-threatening and literally collaborative. Because someone could say, no, you're not going to hear that. Nah. But when I hear out of love, it's like open, effective communication. Now you're shifting how you're seeing things and doing things. Right.
Because what happens is you have, I think the beauty of everything is finding someone that you value, that you trust, right?
That cares about you.
Whether that's a life partner, whether that's a business partner, whether that's a friend, whoever that is, someone that you can trust that has your best interest, and you know they got your best interest through their actions, right? Not just through words, because everybody can say they got your best interest until you down to the bottom, and then you like, hey, bro, where everybody at? You know what I'm saying? But when you truly have someone that has your best interest, that only want to see you win, don't want nothing from you but to love the shit out of you.
It changes your life.
That makes you want to run through a brick wall.
Yeah, for sure.
But you also, from my perspective, it was someone that, it was almost like a coach, right? Okay. That, like my coach used to tell me all the time, if I ain't say nothing to you, that's when you need to worry. If I'm on you, you good, right?
That mean I don't care.
When I'm quiet, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
For me, understanding that concept, right?
Yeah.
When I'm always like, it's like, hey, do you look at that? Hey, I'm reminding you of this. Hey, did you forget? On one end, you like, bro, god dang, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Micromanaging, you always nagging. But one thing about you, Keon, and I think that's why it works, you got to have two parties. One who trusts themselves enough to communicate, and the other party who is open enough and trusts the other party to be receptive and open. Right. Doesn't mean anyone's better than the other, because iron sharpens iron. That's a true partnership,
right?
Whether it's in love or in business.
But it's reciprocated the same way.
Yep,
you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So
you a beast.
Yeah, it's not one sided. So
no,
anything that I say, anything that I recognize, anything it may be like, bro, like what? But then it's like, okay, cool. Like I see where that's coming from, right? Because you trust that person enough to know that this is not coming from. It's not like I'm saying something to you that's gonna benefit me. You know what I'm saying? And so I came from that. Yeah. Right. So for me, the people the closest people to me, I trust. I can let my guard down. Yeah. Right. But now what I had to learn was the closest people to me, you don't necessarily let your guard down, right? Because those aren't the people. Not all the time now. Yeah. But now I realized that I was letting my guard down to the wrong people. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Yep. Now the only people that are around me, the only people that I keep close to me, the only people that I even communicate with, right, are people that I can let my guard down with.
I love that. Yes. So listen, we gonna need a part 2. What I want to do before we wrap up, because we're getting deep and there will be a part 2. I want to ask you, in this new season, and I'm not saying 2023, y'all, because seasons are different for everybody. Right. What is the number one thing that you want to grow, that you want to continue to grow through in this new season?
I think for me, it's personal accountability.
Personal accountability.
It's a lot of different things. So like, what I look at is, right, wealth. You know what I'm saying? Everybody talks about wealth, generational wealth, this wealth, like the key words, right? Things that make people move. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, but at the end of the day, no one really talks about what that looks like, how hard that junk is, how consistent you have to be, how disciplined you have to be, like the work that you actually have to put into. Because, like, to be honest, like I said earlier, I had a bunch of character flaws, right? For me to fix those character flaws and for me to consistently fix those character flaws, I had to go through hell, right? And consistently operate in that space. Because if you think about it, if you learn how to write with your right hand your whole life, all of a sudden your right hand is gone, and now you got to learn how to write with your left hand.
It's hard,
right? Not saying that now your signature ain't even fire no more,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Now you have to relearn a new way how to do things. Not only just writing, but eating. Not only eating, just everything, right?
And not only that, the physical, your mental,
right?
Like you lose confidence, you lack the vigor that you had because you feel quote unquote handicapped, if you may. However, the more you use that other hand, what happens?
You start to perfect it and you get your confidence back. So for me, this is the same thing, right? I've moved from one level to another level, right? Mentally, emotionally, like spiritually, physically, financially, like all these different things. I've gone to another level, right? So anybody can remember going from high school to college.
Yep.
Right? And just to put it in lack of better words, being a senior, going back to a freshman. At no matter what level.
Basically.
Right? No matter what level. Yeah. You have to relearn everything. Going from middle school to high school, you're like, oh, shoot. Like, boy, this is... So that's the same thing in life, right? Yeah. My lady got me traveling around the world. This is new to me. You know what I'm saying? It's new, right? But not saying that I can't operate at this level, at a high level. Right. It means that I have to learn this new level to be me at this new level, right? So instead of me wearing hoodies and sweatshirts and sweatpants everywhere, no, let me put on a button up and some slacks, right? It don't change who I am. It changed my representation. It changed the level that I'm at. Now I'm playing with big dogs, right? Yeah. Now you think about when you was in high school and you was talking about money, right? When you said 10, you thinking about $10, right? Right. Think about when you say 10 now. What you thinking about? 10,000.
10K.
Right? And it's just a simple...
It's a mindset shift, and that's with being around new people, new energy, new opportunities. I love it. So listen, I heard you say Smooth and Groove, Keon Davis, they're separate entities. Let us know what each brand, if you may, is doing in this new season, and how can everyone get tapped in? So, I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on, man. And one of the things that I've talked about was partnership, right? So me and my lady, actually, we partnered in a lot of new ventures. Okay. Right. We got a lot of new things coming up. With Smooth and Groove, we moved locations. I shut down my location. I was in a bad deal, right? I was in a bad deal. I had to learn from it. Yeah. I lost a lot of money in it, but I regrouped and we're going to a new location. Okay. Better opportunity. Where's it at?
It's in downtown McDonough. So when I was on Good Morning America, I had opportunities that started to come up. People locally started to pay more attention to me. You know what I mean? And so now being in the square, I'm able to be in the square of McDonough where there's never been a smoothie company down there.
Nice. Congratulations on that.
I appreciate it. And we're able to kind of do what we need to do by building it how we want to build it, operate it how we want to operate it. You know what I mean? That type of deal. So we'll have that there. Also, we're in the airport. Okay. So nice. we have our product in the airport. Sold out everywhere. So we're in the airport now at Hartsville Jackson. We pre-security. Yep. So we're in the atrium. But we're working on getting some new stuff in those locations. We're also looking to go retail. We're looking to do a lot of different things with our smoothies in a bottle, our juices in a bottle, and just being able to spread our brand in different areas. Like, again, without my face having to be on it.
That's the part that I love.
Also, we're opening up a mimosa bar. It's called Mimosa Me.
Ooh, so I didn't know about this.
Yeah, so we opened it up. Me and my lady opened up a mimosa bar. We just bought into a franchise called BK Lobster. Okay. So we're bringing BK Lobster to the south side of McDonough. Nice. And just looking to open up more ventures and really spread the portfolio. So what I really understand now and what I didn't understand in the past was that when you talk about like being an entrepreneur, right? It's two things, right? One is everybody talk about if you want to be a millionaire, you got to have 8 streams of income, right? All these different things, right? But nobody talks about how. Right. You know what I mean? And so for me, I always thought about I need to focus on one thing. I understood that Jay-Z, Diddy, all them boys that we idolize, they did one thing right. And then what they did was they expanded out. That's why all these different brands represent them. They want to tap in. They want to partner with them, all these different things.
Yeah.
Right? So my focus was like, hey, I need to do one thing right. So my whole focus for the longest time was just Smooth and Groove.
Yeah,
everything.
And you went all in. I got to give it to you. You literally were laser focused and went all in. Even if it was helping someone build a smoothie truck or a food truck, it still was in alignment with what you were very best at.
Right. And so that was my main focus. And I thought that I had to do one thing right to my standard. Right.
And what was your standard?
Franchise in the global.
Hella high.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
But what I realized was it wasn't necessarily that I had to do one thing right. Right? It was that I acquired a bunch of skills that can take a brand from this to this based on me bumping my head, based on me losing, based on me understanding how to partner with different companies. Like, I've been able to partner with some of the largest brands in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just based on smoothies. But it wasn't the smoothie that did it. It was how I approached everything.
Correct.
You know, and I think that I can take any business and anything that I'm doing or working with and insert those same set of skills.
I was just thinking it was your skill set, and the smoothies were just the byproduct.
That's it.
And you have the skill sets, not Smooth and Groove and not the smoothies.
Right.
Whether it's a sock line, a perfume line, or a freaking cup line.
Right.
You have the skills.
Right.
I'm glad that you dissected that out. That's huge.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I had to realize. And so it's like, all right, cool. Let me remove myself from this brand.
Yep.
Any brand that I operate in now, I'm not going to be the face of because I don't have to. I understand buying habits. I understand customer service. I understand quality of product. I understand creating systems. I understand all these different things when it comes to business. So now, instead of me taking just the smoothie business and doing it, now I can say, you know what? What you trying to do? Let me put it there. And let me show you how to blow that up.
Yep.
Right? And so the same thing goes with anything else that I'm doing. You know, I can just insert and redo it. And so that's kind of where I'm at now. So now when I go and I do Smooth and Groove, and so when we franchise, and I think the best thing for me to do is the franchise, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The best thing for me to do, and I can't speak for everybody else.
Yeah.
The best thing for me to do is the franchise because, one, I know how to operate. I know how to teach you how to operate. The problem that I had, I didn't have a lot of hands.
Yeah.
Right? So I bring in a franchisee, I'm going to show you how to win. Right?
Rinse and repeat.
I'm going to show you how to get this money. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be able to use my resources. I'm going to be able to use my connects. I'm going to be able to use my partnerships that I partner with different companies and blow up every single franchisee that I have because of the things that I've already done and acquired.
Yeah.
But I don't physically have to make a smoothie.
Man, high mother freaking five. Listen, I'm so excited for you. And guys, I know we talked about a lot, but make sure you are dropping what's resonating the most. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow Keon at Keon Davis and also Smooth and Groove. All the information will be in the description area. What do you want to leave the people? Let's say you have someone who literally, they have something percolating in their belly, but fear, worry, doubt, what if, all of that stuff is stopping them from making that next move. Because at the end of the day, y'all, I am 18 months clean from corporate. Okay? Yeah. It's almost like a drug. Am I doing wait, am I supposed to be doing here or here? I don't know. So
I'm glad you don't know.
but what is it though? Is it the
I don't know either.
Somebody tell us where am I supposed okay. But not for real. No okay. So what I'm getting at is this. You are the brand. However, your intellect and your intellectual property can create brands. The reason why I was looking up when you kept talking about how you're maximizing things, when I thought about what you're doing, I was thinking of blow up your brand. Whether it's podcast brand, beauty brand, microphone brand, crystal brand, he has something that he can help you blow up your brand. Okay? It doesn't matter what it is. So what would you tell that person who has a budding brand, but they are scared to put it out there in the forefront?
One of the things I think about is, what if I die tomorrow?
Hold up. I didn't hear that. What you said?
What if I die tomorrow?
Okay.
Right? So the biggest thing, and we talked about legacy earlier, is that everybody talk about legacy and leaving something and doing this and doing that. Well, what if you die tomorrow? right?
What if you're not here tomorrow?
What does that look like?
Yeah.
You know, and so again, I beat myself up. I didn't have the proper insurance, right? I didn't have a will. I didn't have, stuff to leave. None of that stuff that we talk about. You know what I'm saying? So everybody know the right things to say, but how many people are executing those things? Right?
Facts.
I was one of those.
Okay.
I can tell you everything you need to know about any area.
Same,
I pride myself on knowing a little bit about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can talk about it. I can hold a conversation. I can do that. But then it got to the point, again, I'll talk about character flaws. I don't execute none of that stuff.
Wait. You don't or you didn't?
I didn't. I didn't execute any of it.
Okay.
Right? And so now what I've done is I went back to the drawing board.
Okay.
Back to as if I don't have anything. I'm starting from zero, right? Regardless of if I think that I'm here, I'm starting from the bottom right now. Because I want to make sure that I have all the skills. I want to make sure that I have everything that I'm doing right, whether it's investments, whether it's 401k, whether it's insurance, whether I'm starting from the bottom right now.
Yeah. Right.
And I'd rather start now than to keep procrastinating and making it look like I know what I'm talking about, right? And being able to hold the conversation. But then when I get back to the crib, I'm looking at it like, dang, I ain't even got no insurance policy.
Most definitely.
So one of the things that I look at and one of the things that I understand is like, what if I die tomorrow?
Okay.
What's going to happen to my brand? What's going to happen to my business? What's going to happen to my food trucks? What's going to happen to my websites? What's going to happen to everything that I created, right? What's going to happen to it if I die tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? If you don't like that answer, fix it. Right? So somebody, go ahead.
So let me just break that down. You have this thing budding in your stomach that you know you're destined to do. What if you die tomorrow? It never goes out. You never make the impact. It's a lot of what ifs, and you're not walking in your full power. So what should they do to take that first step? I'm not saying you're just about to be a millionaire, billionaire. It takes time. But what can they do to take that first step so they can at least have some traction?
I think the biggest thing is just starting with what you have.
Okay.
Right. So I got a book called Go For It. And that's one of my goals this year is to sell all my products that I've created.
Yeah.
I got 5 published books that probably nobody knows about.
You got a whole bunch of good stuff.
You know what I'm saying? I got courses and ebooks. I got all that. The same stuff that everybody's selling. I got tons of it that can help everybody. But I'm just sitting on it. So it's not doing anybody any good. Right. So what I'm saying is the first step that you have to do, I think 1 is write that junk down.
Okay.
Right? 2 is actually take small steps to accomplishing those goals. So if it's, let's just say, for instance, right, you want to create a candle line. You know what I'm saying? I see these good smelling. I'll be smelling these candles around here. So let's say you want to start a candle line. The first thing you need to do is find out how to make candles.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to have to make candles, find out where you can source candles. Find out the number 1 selling candle in the world.
Got it.
Right? So then you start to do the research on your industry. Then you find out, hey, the number 1 selling candle might be the vanilla candle. Let me create a vanilla candle.
It's good.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have the best packaging right now. You don't have to have the premium box. You don't have to have all that stuff. You create 1 candle and you give it away and get feedback.
Rinse and repeat.
That's it.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is make a decision, do your research, and create. Yep. The motto here at Pop Up and Create, my multi-purpose content creations studio, shameless plug.
Get the plug.
Wait, no. It was a shameless plug.
Get the plug.
I'm Vanna. You just have to create. And the one thing that I teach my clients is the 3T method. Try, test, and tweak. I'm about to look y'all in the face. Entrepreneurship is a big hypothesis. Don't nobody really know what they doing.
Say it again.
Would you agree?
Say it again.
So with that being said, why you can't come and play on the playground? Pull up on me. Okay? So listen, because we'll go.
Yeah.
We'll go. Are you going to come back for a part 2?
Definitely.
Okay. So this is part 1. Because with Keon in the building, this ain't no masterclass. This is freaking, what's another word for a elevated 10X masterclass? What is that, y'all? Concert? This is a concert with Keon, okay? So with that being said, we really, really appreciate you guys. All the information is in the description. But I just want to thank you for coming today, especially with what's going on in the atmosphere. And this is one thing I really, really appreciate about you. You push through no matter what, and you let that be your learning opportunity while doing. Right. Some people have a situation coming up or that's occurring. It's like, I can't deal. And no disrespect to those people, but I think when you're able to push through, you increase your resiliency muscle. Okay? Resiliency. That's being able to push through even though. Right. And no shame to the ones who kind of need a pause. That's cool too. But figure out how you operate. Do you need to pause and kind of recollect? Do you push through? But whatever it is, don't stay stuck in that one space and then you can't move. Right. Because that's when we'll go down a slippery slope into a dark hole. Mm-hmm. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning into the Accountability on Demand podcast. Bye.
We out.
Hey guys, LaShauna West here, owner of Pop Up and Create. I'm so excited that you're tapping in to our multi-purpose content creation studio. At Pop Up and Create, it is a creative's haven. Co-working, photo shoots, podcasts, events, the whole nine. So if you're wondering, where do I go to create? Pop Up and Create.